Hello, everyone. This is Leonard de Guzman here on the Life After D podcast, here with Emily Robinson. Hi, Emily.
Hello.
It's September 16th, 2020. We're in the middle of election fever, fire fever. I don't even know what it is. I know lots of things going on here. We're in California. I'm here in the San Fernando Valley. Emily's close by too. We're just kind of going through it, and I know the topic is divorce, so we're getting through it. What's going on in the divorce world, Emily?
Well, it's divorce in the midst of a pandemic and fires that are destroying the entire state, and it's just been crazy. But they're going forward. People are still divorcing. The one interesting thing I found is I find that dealing with other lawyers has been much easier. Maybe this has kind of humanized people or made them, more humble or just more easy to work with because we realize how small we are in this grand scheme of the world. But I have found dealing with opposing counsel and trying to settle to be much easier since the pandemic hit, which I greatly appreciate.
Where was this all before? How come people are so nice now?
I know, and I don't know, why didn't we realize that we could have coffee dates with our friends on Zoom and happy hours? I'm talking to so many friends I haven't talked to since college, but I could have done that all these years. I just no one ever thought to call each other on video chat or something.
Yeah, I'm just I guess I gotta be a better husband or something. My wife is she's into the self-help. She's into a different author every week. So yeah, it's crazy. I'm into this weird sleep hypnosis thing. That's my self-help. I guess I gotta hypnotize myself to be a better person.
You do the thing where you do you hypnotize yourself and kind of go into this sleep.
Yeah, so on Spotify, the guy's name is Michael Seeley, and he just goes. It's called guided meditation, where it's you're in a calm place, feel your body just sinking, and then 5 minutes, I'm just in a deep sleep.
Wow. I've tried that before. I didn't think it worked too well for me, but I do acupuncture and cupping and acupressure points and things like that, and that is so helpful for my anxiety. So I guess everybody has their ways to cope with the world.
Yeah, when you're coked up, is that the right word, in your house, you gotta try, I guess, different things.
Pretty much.
Let's get to the news, the divorce news of the day. Lots of stuff to cover in this episode. So the first one, here we go. New York Times. So this one, okay, this is out of China. Okay. Her husband abused her, but getting a divorce was an ordeal. A graphic video of a husband beating his wife has shocked China, shedding light on the prevalence of domestic violence and the difficulties of obtaining a divorce. Okay, so this is a different country, so I guess we'll see how this one is. The husband and wife were alone in her boutique, but security cameras captured it all. Him pushing her down, punching her, slapping her, and dragging her by the hair across the floor. In footage from last year that recently circulated online, he can be seen hauling her into another room. Minutes later, the woman, her hair flailing, plummets from the second floor into the street below. Oh, wow, okay. The woman said later it was the only way she could escape. So if we go down here, as she lays in the hospital after her assault with fractures in her waist, chest, eye socket, and her lower limbs temporarily paralyzed, Miss Lou said she was determined to leave her husband for good, but a court said no. Mrs. Liu's case has set off a nationwide debate about two of the biggest issues facing women in China: the prevalence of domestic violence and the difficulties of getting justice in a legal system stacked against them. I'm going to cut it off there because it's obviously different countries, and here in the United States, it's a different story. So can you elaborate on if this had happened here, say in California?
Yeah, I mean, domestic violence unfortunately frequently goes hand in hand with divorce. Sometimes it's the factor that causes the divorce. That's why the divorce judges also do restraining orders. And, that's a very strong case of domestic violence. And here, I don't think that it would be hard to get a restraining order for something like that. The harder thing to get a restraining order for here is emotional abuse, because even though the law says you can get it for emotional abuse, it's not easy. It's hard to prove. It's a lot of he said, she said. There's no visible scars. And so I think just like mental health is hard to deal with in our society, so is emotional abuse. But yes, we frequently see restraining orders going hand in hand with divorces.
Okay. Here we go. This is a pretty big topic on TMZ. I've been seeing this a lot. Cardi B, she just got divorced. I saw the last one, the last video I saw her was with Joe Biden with that kind of awkward interview. So here, according to TMZ, Cardi B amending divorce docs. She wants it super amicable. Cardi's officially filed the amended divorce docs, and they now say they want the court to enforce whatever arrangement she and Offset reach. Like we said, she wants Offset to have joint custody, and she will not seek support from him. In the new docs, she also reiterates her desire for amicable resolution. Let's go a little bit in the background. Cardi B wants a divorce from Offset, but she wants it to be friendly and had no idea her lawyer filed documents that made it sound highly contentious. As we reported, Cardi's lawyer filed legal docs asking for legal custody and primary physical custody of 2-year-old Culture. That's a screaming sign Cardi has issues with Offset's parenting, but we're told that is not the case.
That's interesting. I actually hear that a lot, that somebody's lawyer filed something that they didn't realize or they didn't know what it was asking for, and it's not what they want. It's really important to make sure you read what your lawyer tells you to sign. I think a lot of people don't, because they just assume, oh, my lawyer says to sign this, so I'm going to sign it. But it may not be accurate. It may not reflect your wishes. Your lawyer can prepare the legal papers, but we don't know what's in your head. We don't know what you want unless you tell us. So it's really important to tell us and make sure that we're doing it right, from a factual perspective. And I hear that a lot. And it sometimes it's, intentional, and the lawyer's the one causing all the drama, which is terrible, because if the parties can get along, the lawyer shouldn't be making the situation worse or more dramatic than it needs to be.
Oh, remember this Us magazine? When you were in the grocery, like you were checking out, you just pick one of these magazines up. Yeah, remember those days?
Oh, yeah.
So here we go. Since it's all online now, from Us magazine, Chris Pratt and Anna Faris sell their Los Angeles house they lived in before their divorce. They've moved out and moved on. Chris Pratt and Anna Faris sold the Los Angeles home they shared while married nearly 2 years after finalizing their divorce. Us Weekly can confirm. I wish I had this house. Now the now exes purchased the 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom house in March 2013 for $3.3 million. They sold the 4,700 square foot property on September 2nd for 4.75. Let's do more details. Okay, so the pair who share 8-year-old son Jack announced a separation in August 2017 after 8 years of marriage. They finalized their divorce in November 2018. Ferris and Pratt agreed in their divorce agreement to live within 5 miles of each other until Jack completes 6th grade.
Yeah, that's pretty common. Parents want to make sure that they both live near each other so they can share custody. And I think it's nice when they do that. It also happens too that people hold on to a property jointly and sell it later on. Maybe they're waiting for the market to go up. Maybe they're, maybe there's a reason they can't sell it right now. But they frequently do that and then split the proceeds at the time it sells because that is a better investment for them.
Okay. Well, this
I
is
think he
sorry, go
just
ahead.
had a new baby, I think, too.
He married Arnold Schwarzenegger's
His
daughter.
daughter. Yeah, and they just
So
had a
he's
baby.
so yeah, I think that's like technically a Kennedy. That's
Right?
kind of cool. Oh, this one's kind of weird. Like, okay, here we go. Social media. This is kind of weird. So Princess Love found out about Ray J filing for divorce on social media, and now her rapper husband won't return any of her phone calls. Princess Love learned about husband Ray J's divorce filing through social media. The fashion designer was never told directly that her singer-songwriter spouse made the Monday application, according to the Shade Room. Additionally, Love claims the Love and Hip Hop Hollywood star won't return any of her phone calls or text message in the wake of the filing.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, so actually I was just talking to someone about this today. You want to tell your spouse probably before you file, because as soon as you file, it's public record and anyone can see it. So your spouse is going to probably find out either through nosy people looking through the public records or, you know, media looking through the public records, because they do this. They look through the public records so that they can have news and celebrity news. And also services look through the public records so they can then try to recruit you, and get you to hire their attorneys or something like that. So it's highly likely your spouse will find out before you tell them, if you don't tell them right away.
Okay, that's good to know. I mean, gosh, you just find out like on social media, like if you find out you're getting divorced on social media, like what else? Like it's like
I know.
so. Yeah.
It's not ideal.
All right. So anyway, in this part of the show, we're gonna go over posts and people online asking for advice, and Emily will answer all the problems. Maybe you could solve a few here.
We'll try.
We'll try. All right. Here's a post. Why do so many people get divorced at least once in their life? If the goal is to get married and have kids, then people are succeeding. But if the goal is to get married, have kids, and live happily ever after, people are failing on a large scale.
Well, it's a good point. I think everybody's goals are different, but I think it's because typically if you're getting married and you want to have kids, you're getting married in your 20s or 30s. And I think you're just a really different person in your 20s and 30s than you are in maybe your 50s and 60s. And I think that people change and they grow in different ways and not necessarily with each other. And I don't think people set out for the marriage to fail, but it happens. People grow in different ways. I also think that sometimes maybe you're getting married to have kids and you're in your 30s or 40s, and maybe you're not necessarily with the right one, but you really want to have kids and your time clock is running out, and then you realize later on that person wasn't the right person.
Okay, next post. Planning to move out of the country where ex resides, how to go about it. My ex and I have been divorced since February, and I have been transparent with him and moving an hour away since filing. We were supposed to move 6 months ago, but due to COVID, things got a bit delayed. Anyway, our custody agreement just states that I need to let him know 60 days before the move. Is an email sufficient notifying him? I've tried to talk to my employer about allowing me to work from home permanently to enable a move. I think he'll be okay, but not 100% sure. Should I just send the notice anyways to start the clock? Initially, he did not agree that we were moving, but now that he's officially together with his affair partner, I'm sure things have changed. I'm expecting a custody battle looming. I want to move on this, but just thinking of the custody battle has made me hesitant, unfortunately. I'm in California, by the way.
Well, that's really complicated because I think it said out of the country. Um, you can, in California, you can never move out of the country without the other person's permission. All the court orders typically state that you can't leave the state of California without the other person's permission or a court order. The 60-day notice provision usually applies to moving out of the county or moving farther than X number of miles from your ex. But and maybe you don't need permission for that, but you have to give the 60 days notice so your ex has time to file a motion to stop you if they don't want you to, or to change custody. But out of the country is not allowed without a court order. So this person can give the 60 days notice however they want, but unless they're filing a request with the court to be able to move out of the country, they're basically violating court orders and abducting the child, and it's not going to go well for them.
Okay. This next post is more positive. I guess their divorce is final. What are some positive things that have come from your divorce? Of course, for some of us, a positive thing from the divorce is that we're no longer married to our ex. But other than that, what are some positives of your single life that you weren't able to do or achieve when you were married to the ex? So this person has a few. I'm able to prioritize my budgeting based on my needs and goals. I get to choose who I spend time with. I've learned from my mistakes with my ex-husband, able to set healthy boundaries in dating relationships. I have a better relationship with my college-age kids because I don't have to back up these ridiculous parenting tantrums. I'm able to figure out what my needs and goals are and pursue them. And the final one, I get to be myself instead of striving to fit in the box my ex-husband wanted me to be in.
I think, yeah, those are all positive things that can come from a divorce. Anytime you're with somebody else, you have to make compromises because you're sharing your life with someone, and there's going to be things that they like that you don't, and you like that they don't. And to make any relationship work, you have to compromise. And I think it's nice once you've decided to disentangle that you can now focus on you and the things you really want. And you don't have to necessarily share, and compromise. And it's your chance to be selfish again. So enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this background. It looks like I'm on a beach, but I'm not. I'm not above the beach. Remember those days when you get to travel, when you could travel?
I know. I miss that so much. Ugh.
So, all right. So I'm gonna pretend to enjoy it. So this is the last post of the day. And so here we go. We're gonna go back to someone who is getting started with divorce. So separation, living arrangements, and the money. I've made a list of pros and cons of different options I have for living arrangements. It'd be me and my two children. I have a very small income, but can afford an apartment I found in my hometown, 5 minutes from my parents. Looks clean, not too ugly. I've been I'd be furnishing most of it with my furniture from home with my husband. So 88% set on things. My parents have opened their doors to me. Their house is set up so I'd have the top floor and the master suite. The family room is a basement. They're older and don't come upstairs unless to eat. Living with my parents would allow me to put an extra $650 extra towards debt each month. And just overall have a better quality of life post-divorce. They live in an amazing neighborhood with a walking trail and slow traffic. Their home is nicer than the apartment. Living on my own would allow me to do it myself, and there's no stigma for being a millennial living at home. I guess that's what happens in COVID. All the kids are living with their parents, so it's not too bad. However, I married my dad, and so I'm trying to leave him, not move back in with problems. I'd be coming to my father's home, where apparently he still day drinks. Like as recent as this past week, he's a mean drunk. My mom's also a little specific about her home, and while she'd love to have the grandkids around, I'm positive it would cause her anxiety. My mom and I have talked about how me moving home would cure his day drinking, and my mom and I could exercise together. She's been trying to overcome obesity for a long time. However, there's a little thought in the back of my head saying you're moving from the husband's problems to your parents' problems. So my question is, save money and move home, or have a space living solo?
That's a great question. Money is important and saving money is important, but it's not the only thing to consider. And, I think that person needs to consider her mental health and what's going to be, the most healthy environment for her, and also for the kids. Like, if seeing day drinking and problems and stress is going to affect the kids, then maybe not living with the parents is a better plan. Only that person can decide what's best for her. But when making these decisions, you can't only consider money. Yes, that's a factor, but your mental health and the kids' mental health is super important too.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like I said, COVID. It's like the people I know who are a little bit younger, who are millennials. They're all the ones like who lived in LA that were transient. They just kind of moved back to their hometown with their parents,
Right.
and they just I guess they just watch Netflix all day. Like I'm watching Cobra Kai, and that's like kind of like the Karate Kid throwback. I don't know if you
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard it's so good.
Yeah, my wife and I are binging it. So so I could understand how that all works out. That's all the time we have for today on the Life After D podcast. Emily, any advice, last words to our audience?
If you ever have questions or want to follow up on any topics or have topics you want us to discuss on the podcast, you can always reach out to me. I post this on LinkedIn, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube. So you can contact me any of those ways.
Okay, so we'll see everyone next week, and we'll solve more problems, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye.